Very well. So thanks for joining us today. My name is Mario Cuello from Epygi. We're going to have today a webinar on Epygi for small business, roughly about 30 minutes, part of a new series that we want to have between now and January. It will be a mix of some sales webinars along with some technical webinars that are going to be performed by Andy White. So the intention is to give you some sectors where our product might be applicable, give you some ideas from a customer perspective, help you push the product through. And for those that are new to Epygi, love to see if we can have their business. So we'll be recording this, and I'll have the slides at the end. I will have Ashkin send them to you. So we're just going to get started, okay? Very well. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about Epygi and get on a couple of slides that are sort of the meat of what we want to cover today, and kind of touch on the surface without getting into real deep due to time. But obviously, at the end, we'll have a Q&A session, and you're welcome to ask me any questions, or if I don't have the answer, we'll get them for you. So Epygi is an American company, started back in the year 2000. We've been doing all the products from the ground up. We're about 30 employees in 3 locations. It is based on proprietary hardware and software. Our appliances are our own design, the same as the software too. It is not based on any open source platform like Asterisk or anything else. We've been doing appliances and gateways, PBX appliance and gateways for over 22 years. And we just started doing cloud services the last 4 years with 2 products that we have on the cloud, ECMon for monitoring, and our ECQX PBX, our Epygi Cloud PBX. We focus initially on small to medium business. Today, we pretty much have the whole gamut from that to enterprise, contact centers, hospitality, health, educational institutions, government, and multi-site. So initially started exclusively on the small to medium business, but definitely we have grown over the years. And our philosophy is service. We feel that service is what it's all about. We can give you a good product with features, documentation, but at the end, you're going to need our help in assisting you dimensioning those opportunities, be able to configure those devices, explain to you the feature sets, and essentially work with you to be successful. So what is the advantage to the channel, to you? Essentially, you're getting mature, feature-rich, quality products. Okay, not much to say about that there. Very reliable. I mean, we have been fine-tuning these products over the years. There's little quirks here and there, but for the most part, it's very, very stable and reliable. We do have free software maintenance. So you as a channel don't have to pay for any maintenance on our software. You go to our portal, register on our portal, and you can download all the latest releases with the release notes and so forth. It doesn't cost you anything. You can use your own SIP endpoint. One of the biggest selling points is the fact that there's over 150 models and brands of SIP phones out there in the market that would auto-configure with our product. We test them, give you documentation on what software release and so forth. But it's a great advantage because we don't force you to use an Epygi phone. You can use whatever you like. And we do have an eco soft phone, which is our own product, and we push that one quite a bit. Obviously, it works very well with our PBX, and very popular nowadays with mobility, which I'm going to cover a little bit later on. We have an excellent technical support team, guys in our 2 offices in Dallas and overseas in Yerevan. And we actually include our development team in support too. So you pretty much have the entire group of people assisting in support as necessary. The product is constantly improving. We always add new things. Most of them are features that people ask us to have. Channels ask us to add this or that, and we listen to you. So if you need something, tell us about it. We may be able to add it to the product in a new release without any cost at all to you. But the idea here is that it's not a stale investment. You're always going to have the product constantly improving. There's no hidden cost, no upfront cost. Okay, so what you see is what you get, and we're very clear upfront on what you're getting for what you pay. Very good price points. We consider that our prices are very, very competitive compared to some other solutions. I think it gives you plenty of margin for you to make money, especially on the cloud solutions. So we believe we have a very good offering in that side. And of course, it's the best of both worlds. We have cloud and on-premise products. Other advantages to the channel, to you, is that we consider moving forward, what we're going to offer will be like an Epygi ecosystem. I mean, now what we do is there's features on the product embedded, but a lot of the new stuff is interactions with other applications, to have what we call an ecosystem. And there's a few options we mentioned here. MS Teams integration, we do work with MS Teams. We have CRM integration, vTiger on Salesforce. Hospitality integration with PMSs through some partners, Char and Tiger TMS. WebRTC connectivity in our cloud product and in our high-end appliances. Chrome extension, click to dial, to facilitate clicking from any Chrome browser and dial an extension. And actually on the bottom of this slide, you see there on the left, a little square with an Epygi logo and a green button. That is essentially the Chrome click to dial. You move in the mouse to a phone on any browser page, and a little pop-up shows up, and all you do is click on the green button, places a call to that destination number, and attaches it to your extension. We also have Outlook click to dial for those who use Outlook. And then we have customers that use cameras or door openers or paging adapters that are SIP-based. We can certainly configure those as an extension to the PBX, and it adds another dimension to the solution. And the Epygi cloud monitoring service is also part of this. Epygi advantages to the end user. Okay. And this is a little bit new that we have added on the slide. We always focus on the channel. We're just trying to add some things that are more applicable to the end user, things that you may be able to extract from this presentation and then present yourself to your customers to the benefits that they're going to have using Epygi. But essentially, mobility is one of the first ones. I mean, everybody wants to be mobile nowadays. After COVID, work from home. Work from Starbucks, come to the office when you're on vacation, and all of that. So mobility is a big topic moving forward. And one of the products that we have that helps a lot into that topic will be the Eco soft phone. Clear voice. Our products are very clear. The voice is very fine-tuned. Choices of codecs, if you want to play with that. Adjustments that you can make into what it is, the voice subsystem. But at the end of the day, it's very clear voice. Secure system. The products are embedded and closed, so it doesn't allow for any other application to be running on the same hardware. And we also have initiatives that you as a channel can program on the system, such as, for example, SIP IDS, that make it more secure for your customer. Feature rich, it includes all of the features already on the base product. Reliable, and if they want to have redundancy options, we can offer that too. We have it on the cloud, and you can also purchase redundancy license for the on-prem equipment. Flexibility with the ability to use many SIP endpoints. Very competitive prices. At the end, it's for the end user to save money. And the fact that we have very advanced functions, we have some such as dial and announce, park and page that are very unique to our product. And what we would like to do is, what does the end customer needs? And then we figure out what are the features that apply best to them. And for that, we're here to help you navigate those waters. We're going to be adding soon SMS, something that we have announced a little bit before, but now it's going to be on an official release. Again, another dimension in communication. So with eCall, you should be able to send and receive SMS messages to any phone. And of course, you can use your preferred SIP-trunk provider. We have many that we have tested with, and several of them that are good partners of ours, including Clearfly. So again, a lot of this bullet items in here, things that apply to the reseller or to the channel, but here just on extending them, things that you can present to your customer. EasyMon, just one slide on the EasyMon. And we do have some other presentations I cover more in detail, but essentially it is a tool for you as a channel to manage your devices, to get alarms that you can configure, alert you to events. Many of could be, SIP IP phone registration or a trunk loss registration or bad quality call. There's over 70 events that you can program to alert you issues happening with your customer. It could be either on the on-prem device or on the cloud. And then there's all sorts of statistics, licensing, CPU utilization, concurrent call, phones registered, and so forth that you can get from the tool for each one of your customers, as well as remotely being able to configure these devices through a dedicated VPN. From the tool. Now, actually, that is very useful when you are installing on-prem devices. So you can make the config changes on those on-prem devices using our EasyMon tool. So the idea is that you can be proactive, providing better support to your customer and not be reactive, particularly on the alarm events options that we have. All right. We also want to mention here on one slide our Epygi eCall soft phone, and that is available for Windows, Android, and Apple iOS. Pretty much it's a complete soft phone. You can get your directories from the PBX, Outlook, if you have Outlook on Windows in this case, and your mobile directories, and you can create your favorites, your voicemail, you can get it, your call history, you can establish presence if you like, you can do video calls, and now we do have an instant messaging included on this between equal users, but we'll be adding that SMS soon. And then you can have multiple SIP accounts with multiple line appearances on each account. So very flexible in that sense. And if you want to have your own logo on the eCall, you can do that, or you change your banner color, which is a default Epygi red, you can do that also. And lastly, there are 20 programmable BLF keys. We call them MPK keys, and there you can have, do not disturb, cold park and retrieve, general voicemail, watch extensions, speed dials, and so forth. So very flexible, pretty much allow you to emulate what the user desk phone will be. And we do have a receptionist console option. So if you want to use eCall for a receptionist phone, you can activate the receptionist console, and then she can do watch extensions and pretty much do whatever any receptionist would do with a button phone. And lastly, we mentioned it to configure as a parent-child extension. And I'll mention a little bit more about that in our next slides. All right. So here's our what we call a usage scenario, the small business. And the way we have this slide is, what do the small business more or less is looking for, and then how it can be implemented. Again, from a top level, if we need to drill down on this in details, get with me, and we can certainly look into more detail. But they want mobility. You got a small business. He's working with customers. He's on the road. He may be on the office. He may be having lunch. He needs to be mobile in and out of the office. He needs to stay in contact with his customers. So he needs to be able to be mobile. He also needs to be able to be accessible by the customers. When they call in, and he wants to be reached, the phone has to ring, whether he's on the desk, on the mobile, at home, or whatever. He may need to redirect calls depending on the time of day. I mean, some guys may have calls coming into a person in the office, but at 4, they wanted to go to, let's say, a general voicemail, or may want to use the IVR or redirect it to a different extension or location. They want to be able to retrieve their voicemails remotely. You know, people left voicemail during the day. They may want to do a quick audio conference. You want to, start an audio conference right away with a colleague in the office and add participants, and you can certainly do that with us. They may want to combine access control. Some of the small office, they may have a door opener. I mean, I know you can use Ring and some of these other products, but you can also use CyberData or 2N or Access door opener and connect it through the PBX, and then be able to see who's at the door, even when you're not in the office, and maybe even open the door for them using the keypad. And again, security, they want to have a secure system. They're busy doing their functions. They don't want to mess around and have holes on this. And obviously, you as a channel, as an integrator, is your responsibility to make sure, if you're providing the networking product and the router and so forth, to make it robust. But our product allows you to make a more secure system also. And they also want PBX configuration changes. They don't want to mess around with changing names. You as a channel can help them do that function using our EasyMount tool, for example. So these are just some examples of things that a small business is going to be looking for. And to do those, there's several functions that can apply to that, configurable in our system, from parent-child extensions, using the equal, and that one, actually, I think it's a point to explain it, is very popular configuration. You may have a desk phone, a Yalink or Grandstream or whatever, and you want to have our equal in your laptop or on your mobile device, and you can connect it to your parent, which is your desk phone, as a parent-child configuration on the QX. And what it is that they're all one and the same. It doesn't matter what outbound call you make, whether it's from the laptop or your desk phone, it comes out as from your extension, and vice versa. Incoming calls are going to ring all phones, and you can answer it wherever you are. Very, very flexible. You can also use Find Me, Follow Me, or multiple extension ringing, which are more traditional functions. The usage of the IVR, the configuration of a general voicemail box. In this case, you can get an incoming call, let's say, to sales, and then it goes to a general voicemail box, and you can have BLF buttons on the phones. Anybody can pick up those emails and listen to them and respond to the customer. Or you may have a day-night service where you can use a key or a key code on the keypad to essentially switch between an IVR, receptionist, or different extensions for incoming calls. It's typically known as day-night service. Group pickup, audio conferencing, phone book, and EasyMount. Phone book actually is a very popular one. You can, besides the extensions on the PBXs, a lot of people are multi-site. They may be able to import a phone book in all the QX devices, which in effect, it gets pushed into the actual phone directory. So not only can you have the extensions of the phone, but you can have also a customer-based directory available to you on the phone. Now, an extension to this SMB will be more like on a small enterprise. And here, the same functions or needs for a small business applies. But in addition to that, a small enterprise may have remote users. Definitely probably going to be using a receptionist or an IVR, either one or many, which you can do with us. They may have multiple trunks, multiple DIDs. They may be able to have web site with click to dial, using the web RTC option, where customers can click to dial on the website, and then calls coming in via WebRTC to a sales department. Or they may want to run small call centers. We have customers that that want to have a small call center and they use that functionality. They want to have agents that log in, log out, and supervisors managing those agents. And they essentially create a small call center on their PBX, a mix of endpoints, system reliability. And again, these are all can be achieved by programming all of these functions, including hot desking, multiple IVRs or IVR history that allows you also to do, for example, survey campaigns. You can talk, sales can talk to a customer and then ask them, hey, do you want to do a survey? And then send them to the IVR. Well, it'll be automated and the customer can reply to the IVR prompts and voila, you have a survey available for you to review. I think the rest of these are pretty much what I have mentioned. There's also class of service that you can apply on different phones. You can do PIN code authorization. That is used widely overseas where certain extensions or long distance routes are not allowed until you enter a PIN code. And of course, paging, one or multiple zones, call recording, emergency interrupt, and redundancy. These, again, we have other presentations with more details on these features, but the intent today was just to give you an exposure to them. So, all right, we do have a cloud product, and which is the ECQX Cloud PBX. It essentially, we're hosting it as a cloud PBX, but we don't do SIP termination. You bring your own SIP trunk to do the termination. And, like I mentioned before, we tested many vendors of that. Ease of endpoint provisioning, you actually configure it on the GUI of the PBX. It is instance-based, so it is one instance per customer in our cloud, so gives you a little bit more freedom and independence. And again, it auto-configures most of the SIP phones the same way the on-prem devices do. And you do the configuration via the GUI. So you go to our portal called epygcloud.com and you get an account, and there's an online store where you can order our PBX there and any other options, and you pay on it. You pay it through PayPal on monthly billing. And we're also on the Clearfly customer portal. It's a recent addition. Clearfly is a partner of ours on the SIP trunk, and they have an excellent offering by the fact that you can buy from them our cloud PBX, the SIP trunk, plus they can do billing services for you to your customer. So it's a complete service offering. You want to check them out. They're a great partner of ours in our ecosystem. And in our cloud, the PBX includes the eCall soft phone. In our appliances, that is a separate license that you activate, but the eCall soft phone is included. No software license to buy or maintenance or support cost is all included. No long-term contracts on this, okay? And we also have what we call an ECQX ISO option. We have certain carriers that want to use our software, certain partners that are more self-sufficient in that sense, and they want to run their own cloud, administer the PBXs, their redundancy, their DNS, and all of that infrastructure, and we have that as an option. In this case, we license to use the uses of the software, and you run with the rest of the configuration. Okay, and in our portal, what you do is there is a few items for you to order. There are bundles of ECQX, either 3, 5, 10, 20, or 40 extensions. And the bigger the bundle, the cheaper it gets. From the 3, which is about roughly $5.75 or $6 per extension per month, down to about $4, a little bit less per extension per month when you have 40 extensions. So it's very reasonable pricing per month per extension. Gives you plenty of margin to add up the SIP trunk and make a good margin when you sell this to your customer. You can add another soft phone licenses. You can add a CRM integration, an eCall receptionist, and we also have call center bundle, includes several call center products in one license, or call recording that you can add. Or if you want to add individual extensions to your bundle, you can do the same. Okay, PBX appliances. We have several models. The pictures are here. But let me just mention what are the end user benefits of using these appliances. If you want to use go the CAPEX route, not the recurring revenue route, and I'm talking about the customer using cloud, they invest on the PBX upfront, they buy the phones, and voila, you're done. These things run for 10 to 15 years, okay? And it's very low capital investments. We got products that are very cheap. For example, the QX20 you see on the picture retails for $385, and of course you as a channel get a discount on that. But so it's very economical for those customers that want to invest on the equipment and they want to have it on premise. Again, very reliable appliance, a secure device. You can activate all this IDS and routers and secure your product for external access, or prohibit it from external access based on the configuration. All the features are included. Some are extra ones with licenses. And if you are on the SMB small office, 20, 50, and 200 that you see here in the picture, it has an embedded firewall, DHCP server router, and you don't need to have anything else for a small office. You can put on the LAN port not only your phones but your computers, and manage the router within the PBX for your customer. All you got to do on the WAN port is connect to broadband. Okay, and these products again are not obsolete. We're always doing a new software release. So it's ideal for one location or multi-locations. If you go multi-locations, you can connect all these devices together on a unified dial plan. If you do 2, 3-digit dialing, you can reach any extension on each location. Plus, you can also route calls from one location to the other and then grab a local SIP trunk. For example, you may have a location in France. You want to call a French customer, you dial from a US extension, a French number, it goes out to the France box, it grabs a local SIP trunk there, and it injects the digits and calls your local number. Okay, so we got from 12 to 5,000 extensions. There's redundancy options. You can rack these little boxes. There are small metal boxes with an AC power integrated. And here are the first three, 20, 50, and 200. The 50 and 200 are hybrid, FXS and FXO. All the others are all purely IP. And then here are the rest. There's a 60, 100, 500, 3,000, and 5,000. And again, for more details on that, let me know, and I can provide you price and more details on them. We also have gateways. You can use them as independent gateways without our PBX, but they're pretty much work very well with our PBX. If you want to add either T1, FXO, or FXS ports, in the case of FXS for hotels, for example, or nursing homes, for example, that use analog phones, they integrate very well with our PBX and very reliable, include LAN and WAN port. And then we also have BRI, ISDN, gateway we use overseas. And finally, our roadmap. I'm trying to stick to the half hour here. So a very important slide, gives you a snapshot of what we have coming. And SMS, which I mentioned earlier, is one of those. We are finishing a new release for the QX that includes some options for SMS. And we already have a release for the Windows eCall, and then there's going to be a release for iOS and Android shortly in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But the gist of it is as follows. We're adding capability on eCall to send, receive SMS messages through a connection of an SMS provider. and that means you can send SMS to any phone out there through that provider. And there are many options on how you can configure this. You can have DID numbers assigned to equal for SMS, or the same way you can have DID numbers assigned to equal for SIP trunks, for example. Or you can have, for example, one DID for SMS assigned to the QX that is going to be used by the equal users. So that means that you can send SMSs out using the QX DID for SMS. And then when you receive an SMS, if you want to receive it on that equal, you need to have a dedicated SMS DID for that, right? But we're also providing the capability of creating automatic conversations. And I'm going to illustrate it by an example. Let's say you have a sales and a marketing team, and you're telling customers that if they want to text you to this DID. They can send an SMS to that DID. The QX receives it, and it is the DID for the sales group. It would automatically open a conversation among the sales group participants, equal participants, with the customer. And now any one of those participants can answer back to the customer. Everybody is on the conversation, and then others may be able to drop off or mute themselves once the conversation gets handled by, let's say, one sales associate. You can do the same thing in support and so forth. So it gives you the capability to be very flexible in how you want to manage your SMSs by having this automatic conversations. We're going to be adding an option there that is a signature on a text. So let's say you reply to an SMS and you were using the company SMS number. And if the customer wants to call you, that is not the number to call you because it's not configured for voice. You may send a text to that customer, and then that SMS will have a signature on the bottom where you can say, for example, if you need to talk to me, call me at this number. So again, trying to give you some options on how you can manipulate the usage of voice DIDs and SMS DIDs on the QX. Now, SMS works for certain carriers. Well, it works with Twilio, with Telnix, and also with Clearfly, and other carriers may be added later on. The reason is that everybody has a different interface or API to be able to provide that termination. Now, the last thing is that all these SMSs, there's going to be an SMS detail record or a call detail record for SMSs on the QX. So you're going to have the history of the text back and forth from each conversation, and it's actually useful for those administrators that want to keep tabs on, what kind of text their sales team is having with their customers, for example. I mean, the same way you can record calls or you can have call detail records, now you're having SMS records available on your QX. Other roadmap items are we're interrupting or testing Avaya J series phones. These are open SIP phones, and we tested them in the lab and they work okay. So if you have customers that have these phones and they don't want to use an Avaya PBX and want to use Epygi, you should be able to use them. They're manually configured, not automatically configured yet, but you can use them. And we're also adding integration with third-party E911. We're adding options where you can essentially, through APIs, through third-party services, be able to provide location information to that third-party service for, to meet RABOM and carry swallow mandates on the federal government. Make it a little bit easier than some of the traditional methods for location services when you dial in 911. Adding some new yelling and family of phones to the mix. And finally, we're trying to wrap up integration with Zoho CRM. I've been working with the Zoho guys to finish that up. We should be available on their website as one partner very soon.